Okay, before we go more into the A of the PISA model, let's look at the entire process, the 4 letters in concert. And we can talk about 3 dimensions here. The first dimension is the PISA model itself, as we see here. The relationship between teacher and student that we just talked about, the digital documents that are part of a triangle here, and then the 4 letters, P for presentations, I for computer-supported interaction, problem types, feedback from the computer, and then social interaction synchronously between teacher and students, face-to-face or online. And then finally the A for analytics and also for annotation. Now this model is used and reinforced by the PISA course, the PISA program, for how to learn the model by applying the model itself on the course structure. So we have, after a sort of onboarding activity, we have the 4 letters. The P for the first part of the course, the section, and the webinar on presentations and some support for that. Then we have the computer supported interaction, and then we have a section and a webinar on that, and similarly for the synchronous interaction, a seminar and a webinar on how to do webinars. And then finally, of course, we have the analytical part and then a separate section for that as well. So you try to reinforce the model by applying it, practicing what we preach. But there's a third dimension to it too, and that's the assignment that students are invited to and asked to try it out themselves and create course material in this way. So we have, in this particular example I've chosen here, we have from a course for interpreters between different countries, participants from different countries. And they work together on the same assignment in different groups, and then sort of we consolidated that. So here is the P&I, the document in principle, where we consolidated the efforts of several groups into one table of contents, at least on some videos. There's not so much text there yet, and not so many interactive assignments, but that will eventually be developed. And then for the seminar part, the people involved developed this plan for how to run a webinar, and discuss that in depth. So that's the third dimension that sort of reinforce the learning process. Now there's another aspect to this, and this is how time is used. And the model sort of presupposes that we have some reading in traditional textbooks, and then working with that interactive dynamic texts, learning materials, and then have the time for interactivity. And it's not like necessarily to have equal parts in time, for instance, 3 hours for the 10-hour, or in a longer program divide equally, but it's a good starting point. And that sort of presupposes that people really read something before and work on this before they meet, so that the seminar and webinars become efficient and driven by the students' questions and contributions. That's an important part of the model. And it takes some time to get used to that, because we flip around the class in this manner. So there is a change going on, and we will, in the future, we will look back at these types of genre and how they are circumscribed by social practices, and how we work differently when we work with different kinds of documents. But this can serve as a background for the analytical part when we really dig into this, and how can we develop and improve this model.